The Riverside Manor sparkled with Christmas decorations as my sister Jennifer's annual holiday party attracted Washington's political elite. Senators, lobbyists, and policymakers gathered over eggnog and strategic small talk. "Alex, you know where you belong," Mom announced, gesturing toward the corner table where my 8-year-old nephew sat with crayons. "The children's table is perfect for someone at your level." My level. If only she knew that my level included holding the Pentagon's highest security clearance, serving as senior defense intelligence analyst, and briefing generals about threats that could reshape global military strategy. But my family preferred Jennifer's success as a government relations specialist, who'd parlayed her political science degree into a lobbying firm representing defense contractors. "Jennifer's worked so hard to cultivate these relationships," Dad added, surveying the influential guests. Senator Williams personally requested an invitation. "The chairman of the Armed Services Committee is here. Even the Deputy Secretary of Defense." The Deputy Secretary of Defense. General Patricia Morrison, who'd been sending me encrypted messages for 2 days about tomorrow's emergency briefing on classified threat assessments. "Alex's computer work is so technical," Jennifer observed, gliding past in her designer dress. "When people ask what he does, I just say IT support. Much easier than trying to explain whatever he actually does with those government computers." IT support. I was Senior Defense Intelligence Analyst specializing in cyber warfare threats and foreign intelligence assessment. My security clearance required 18-month background investigations. My threat analysis protected military operations across 4 continents, and my intelligence reports had prevented 3 separate terrorist attacks. "The kids' table will be much more comfortable," Mom continued. "No pressure to keep up with conversations about policy and national security." National security. The irony wasn't lost on me that I was being excluded from national security conversations by people whose understanding came from cable news. "Plus," Jennifer added, "some of these guests have very high-level security clearances. We can't have awkward situations where someone might overshare sensitive information around civilians." High-level security clearances. While Jennifer worried about protecting classified information from civilians, I held clearance levels that exceeded most of her guests and accessed intelligence requiring presidential authorization. I accepted my assignment with practiced patience, checking my secure phone for priority alerts from the Pentagon's Intelligence Directorate. 3 urgent messages required immediate response about emerging threats affecting global security. "Perfect," Senator Williams announced, approaching with commanding presence. "Jennifer, thank you for hosting such an impressive gathering. The guest list reads like a who's who of defense policy." "Senator Williams," Jennifer glowed, "I'm so honored you could attend. Your leadership on the Armed Services Committee has been truly inspiring." Leadership on the Armed Services Committee. The same committee that had implemented my threat assessment protocols after I'd identified security vulnerabilities that traditional intelligence agencies had missed. My phone buzzed with an encrypted message from Agent Rodriguez, my Pentagon security liaison. "Package delivered. Assets in position. Ready for extraction protocols." "I should probably step outside to take this call," I mentioned casually. "Phone call at a Christmas party?" Mom sked. "Alex, this isn't the time for work emergencies. Work emergencies involving national security threats that superseded holiday party etiquette regardless of family seating arrangements." "Agent Rodriguez, what's the status?" "Package secured. High-priority intelligence requires immediate analyst review. Pentagon's requesting emergency briefing within the hour." Emergency briefing that activated security protocols typically reserved for cabinet-level officials during international crises. The Christmas party continued with political networking as guests discussed defense spending and policy frameworks that shaped national security. I coordinated with Pentagon security while inside. Conversations flowed about intelligence operations I'd personally designed. "The cyber warfare threats we're facing are unprecedented," I heard General Morrison telling Senator Williams. "Fortunately, we have analysts who understand these emerging attack vectors better than anyone in the intelligence community." She was discussing my work while I stood outside pretending to be family IT support assigned to the children's table. "The threat assessment protocols that prevented last month's infrastructure attack were absolutely brilliant," Senator Williams replied. Whoever developed those frameworks saved us from catastrophic national security failures. The same protocols I'd developed while my family assumed I spent my days fixing email problems. Agent Rodriguez, I said quietly, how long before the extraction team arrives? 15 minutes. Full security detail with emergency authorization. This is classified as Priority Alpha. Priority Alpha. The Pentagon's highest emergency classification, reserved for threats that could affect national security within hours. Coordinate with local authorities about perimeter security. Already handled. FBI liaison confirms no civilian complications anticipated. Through the terrace doors, I could see Jennifer networking enthusiastically, introducing guests who assumed they were meeting defense policy enthusiasts rather than the family that had relegated key intelligence personnel to children's seating. Jennifer's really outdone herself tonight, I heard General Morrison observe. Though I was hoping to coordinate with that defense analyst she mentioned. The one who developed our cyber threat assessment framework. Jennifer had been claiming credit for intelligence work she'd learned about through overheard phone conversations, assuming my classified consulting was generic government contracting. I believe that analyst is actually attending tonight, the deputy secretary replied. Jennifer's brother, though I haven't had the opportunity to meet him yet. The same deputy secretary whose emergency intelligence briefings I'd been conducting for 6 months through secure video conferences. 3 black SUVs pulled into the driveway with distinctive federal coordination. 8 agents emerged wearing tactical gear that suggested this wasn't routine protective detail. Agent Rodriguez approached with military efficiency. Senior Analyst Chen, we're ready for immediate extraction. Pentagon's upgraded this to national security priority. Agent Rodriguez, perhaps we should coordinate with the local gathering before proceeding. My family isn't aware of my security classification. Understood, sir. But Pentagon directive overrides civilian considerations. We're authorized to proceed with full protective protocols regardless of family circumstances. Sir, another agent announced, General Morrison is inside. She's requesting immediate briefing coordination. Let's proceed, I replied, knowing the next few minutes would completely destroy my family's comfortable assumptions. Agent Rodriguez gestured toward the terrace doors. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be implementing standard security protocols for Senior Defense Intelligence Analyst Chen. The terrace doors opened to reveal General Morrison waiting inside, apparently alerted about my security details' arrival through military channels my family hadn't known existed. Alex, she called out with relief, perfect timing. We need your assessment on the emerging threat before briefing the Joint Chiefs. Jennifer stared at me like I'd suddenly revealed the ability to command military operations. General Morrison, I replied with professional tone, I have the analysis prepared. The infrastructure vulnerabilities are more extensive than initial assessment indicated. Ladies and gentlemen, General Morrison announced to the gathering, I'd like you to meet Senior Defense Intelligence Analyst Alex Chen, the Pentagon's leading expert on cyber warfare threats and foreign intelligence assessment. The silence was complete. You could hear Christmas music from the kitchen. Senior Defense Intelligence Analyst? Jennifer's voice cracked as she processed that her brother apparently held one of the Pentagon's most critical positions. Indeed, General Morrison continued with military authority. Alex's threat analysis has prevented multiple terrorist attacks and identified security vulnerabilities that traditional intelligence agencies missed entirely. Senator Williams stared at me like I'd claimed to personally prevent international warfare. The cyber warfare protocols you developed last month, the Deputy Secretary added, saved our infrastructure systems from what could have been catastrophic foreign attacks. I serve as Senior Defense Intelligence Analyst for Cyber Threat Assessment, I explained to my shocked family. My work involves identifying foreign intelligence operations, analyzing terrorist threats, and developing security protocols that protect military operations worldwide. Jennifer had progressed beyond pale to translucent. Your security clearance, the Deputy Secretary observed, exceeds most cabinet members. The intelligence you analyze affects strategic decisions at the highest levels of government. Before we continue, General Morrison said, checking her secure phone, I should mention that the Joint Chiefs are waiting for your threat assessment. The situation has escalated beyond our initial projections. Mom gripped her wine glass like it might provide stability in a suddenly incomprehensible world. My Pentagon consulting involves analyzing threats that could affect national security, I said, looking directly at Jennifer. The frameworks I develop determine how military commands approach cyber warfare, intelligence gathering, and strategic defense planning. Furthermore, General Morrison added, Alex's intelligence work is classified at levels that require presidential approval. His threat assessments shape military decisions affecting global security operations. Agent Rodriguez approached with an official tablet. Senior Analyst Chin, priority alert from Cyber Command. They need your assessment before implementing emergency response protocols. I'll review it immediately, I replied, accepting classified materials at my sister's Christmas party. Jennifer stared at the Pentagon tablet like it contained nuclear launch codes. Alex, how long have you been working for the Pentagon? 5 years, I replied simply. And apparently I spend Christmas analyzing threats between family holiday gatherings. Word spread through the party that the man assigned to the children's table was actually one of the Pentagon's most critical intelligence analysts. By morning, defense newsletters reported my appearance at the most security-conscious Christmas party in Washington. Jennifer's lobbying firm faced complicated questions from defense contractor clients who'd learned she'd assigned a senior Pentagon analyst to children's seating. Her understanding of defense policy became questionable when partners realized she'd been unable to recognize intelligence expertise in her own family. Senator Williams quietly inquired about my availability for committee consultation, apparently realizing the civilian he'd dismissed might be the analyst whose work had shaped his committee's security recommendations. Mom and Dad's social standing transformed overnight, but not as hoped. Instead of being praised for raising a successful son, they became the cautionary tale about families who'd failed to recognize their own national security assets. The calls started immediately. Apologetic voicemails about misunderstandings and being so proud of my important work. Jennifer suggested family dinners where I could explain opportunities for relatives who might benefit from understanding defense policy. I listened while reviewing threat assessments for Joint Chiefs briefings, then deleted them without responding. 2 months later, Defense Intelligence Quarterly featured me as the Cyber Guardian, how one analyst prevents tomorrow's security threats. My family wasn't mentioned, though Pentagon sources praised the operational discretion that had allowed me to work effectively while maintaining personal relationships. The last I heard, Jennifer had enrolled in defense policy courses to better understand military frameworks affecting her lobbying career. Senator Williams had requested direct liaison with my Pentagon office. I was exactly where I'd always been, in classified briefings and threat assessment sessions, preventing security disasters that would never make headlines because they never happened. Sometimes the best revenge isn't about proving people wrong. It's about protecting national security while they're planning seating charts.